This is the video that you guys have been asking for as long as I can remember. We are gonna rank the original 48 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tracks, every single one of them, and 48 Booster Course Pass tracks next video. We're gonna be winging the tracks on 200cc and sharing our thoughts candidly, not scripted, just going through them on a game that I have not touched in 6 months. Let me know your opinions on all these tracks and how much experience you have with the game. This will be so much fun. I hope you guys enjoy. It is finally time to make this video for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Made it for Mario Kart Wii a few years ago, and I had a really hard time deciding for this video on how to do it because I really don't have super specific opinions about the tracks like I do for Mario Kart Wii. So I figured the best way to make the tier list would be to not do a list where I'm having, like, you know, all of the rankings 1 through 96 for the tracks. I couldn't really figure out a way to do that and have an accurate list, but I could definitely split them into tiers, and that way I'd be able to feel pretty good about my list, and it'd be interesting to see what everyone else's list look like. Be sure to comment below, let me know. I'm very curious, and I'm probably just gonna start every single race announcing what the tier is of the track, not mess around too much. So we're a little late on this one. This one, B tier. I just love all the shortcuts. I think they did a fantastic job with the anti-gravity. Just the way that it looks when you're looking backwards after you go off that last glider ramp. It's incredible. This track, slam dunk. It's really cool how they went with a stadium track instead of a circuit track for the first track in the game. Next up, Water Park. This one goes in F tier. This is a bottom 10 track in the game for me, maybe even bottom 5. I really can't even think of many tracks I dislike more than this one. Although on 200cc, I find it to be a lot faster, just obviously, but you know, it doesn't feel like a complete and utter snooze fest. Like, it feels like it's made for 200, I guess would be the best way to put it. So that's gonna be kind of a thing in general with this tier list, as I'm kind of like mixing how I feel about 150 and 200 together for the track. So although this one is just kind of decent on 200, I cannot stand it on 150. Now, I don't hate the track, I just think it's extremely boring on 150cc. I, in general, do not care for underwater tracks. So I feel like, you know, if you like underwater tracks, you're gonna love Water Park. Oh, that's cool. I was trying to see if you could finish into the cement there. It actually worked. But yeah, it's just mainly the way the underwater physics feel in this game. They feel slow and clunky, and I just feel like I'm not very good at the underwater tracks as well. So that's gonna be playing a part in the tier list in general. If I'm bad at the track, it's probably going lower. And now we have Sweet Sweet Canyon. This track, I don't like the coloring of it. I think it looks ugly. It's just so brown and yellow, and it doesn't have enough contrast or vibrance to it. It just kind of feels muddy. I don't know how to put it in any other way. It's cool, like, layout. I don't think it's particularly interesting to play. I'm putting this in D tier, and this is also like a bottom 15, bottom 20 track for me. And it's definitely more bearable on 200cc. I think it's, once again, on the boring side for 150. Thwomp Ruins. Incredible track, looks beautiful, music is top tier. This goes in A tier for me. I wish you could do a shortcut on this corner, like being able to jump this gap would be incredible. I think it's awesome how the thwomps fall right there and there's a glider shortcut on lap 3. I think the underwater and the anti-gravity works well on this one. I think the shortcut at the end with it's like a slanted block here, it's surprisingly pretty difficult. Like, it's easy to screw it up. I've screwed it up many times. I'm sure a lot of you playing have had moments where you go for it, think it's free, and then it doesn't go your way. So yeah, it's just a beautiful track. It looks phenomenal. It plays well with the gimmicks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8. Not really too much bad to say about this one. Definitely a lot more difficult on 200 than 150, especially with Funky Kong. Mario Circuits. First track I played in Mario Kart 8 before the game came out, a year before the game came out. That is so weird to think about. The fact they even had it available at E3 so early in advance. I mean, you know, it's the Mobius strip figure 8 sort of deal. It's not great, not terrible. I don't have too many feelings on this one. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I'm gonna put it in C tier. There's a cool like 200cc shortcut right there where you can land on this bridge and skip a little bit, but it really doesn't do much. So you're better off, you know, doing the grass shortcuts, focusing on that and not really risking the airtime, potentially getting target shocked if you go for something like that. Toad Harbor gets A tier. This track immediately reminded me of Delfino Square. It's got some cool sections to it, like this ramp part right here. Oh, I just thought I was gonna fall off there. You can go up top, you can go down below. There's a cool shortcut right here with a degree of difficulty. A lot can go wrong on this shortcut, as we know. And I like how narrow it is. Definitely got a degree of difficulty to it. The trolleys are deadly, as you can see. Totally hit that one on purpose. We're dodging this blue shell. Told ya. Twisted Mansion. This track has grown on me. This used to be bottom 5 in the game for me. Easy F tier, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm putting in C tier now. I don't think it's as bad as I used to think. I'm not, you know, gonna write home about it. I'm not calling it the greatest track in the world or anything. But I no longer am upset when it gets chosen. That's probably the best way I can describe it. This shortcut at the end, pretty cool. I really like how you join at the end with the finish line. Really satisfying. You can cheese wins. Beginning shortcut here saves a lot more than you think. It looks like very little, but it's probably a couple seconds, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it. I mean, it's kind of hard to come back on this track, like especially when you're in that underwater section. It kind of is a make or break moment when you're going around those corners. People back spam a lot of items there, so a lot can go wrong. I've had some really heartbreaking moments on this track, but I've also had probably more wins on this track than just about any other. So I couldn't put it in F tier because I've had some great memories on this one. Shy Guy Falls. This is just one of the best tracks in the game, in my opinion. I think this one got me the most excited for Mario Kart 8 of any track by far. I don't think it's even close with the others. The moment I saw Shy Guy Falls, it was just like absolute mind blowing. I'd never seen a Mario Kart track this beautiful. Shortcut actually has a degree of difficulty to it. Like, you can definitely screw this up. And there's even a shortcut here too, but I mean, it's not really too worth it. As you can see, you can kind of make it work. You could say maybe a little bit. Yeah, but this one of my favorites. It doesn't get chosen enough. I'm surprised it's not more popular. I'm actually kind of curious to know why. And you can even take this top section here. Might as well go around, show you guys the other route since you guys have never seen it, of course. And a little grass cut at the end to cheese some victories. Shy Guy Falls, ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorites. I'm curious to hear what other people think on this one. I think on average, people are probably putting that in B or C tier, but it is S tier for me. Oh, I think this is where I get in a little bit of trouble. We have Sunshine Airport. I'm putting it in C tier. I know that's gonna be an unpopular opinion. I feel like people really like this track, and I think the first half is really fun. And I think once we get to right here, the track becomes extremely boring. I don't ever enjoy playing this second half. Even when I'm in first and I'm front running, I just don't really know what to do. We're just kind of driving and they have these long straightaway sections. One with the boost panel, we got the cannon gliders, and we have the big glider at the end. And then the ending's kind of cool though, with the luggage, being able to get a low trick off of that. And this beginning is really fun, it's very well designed. It seems like it's a really popular track. It gets chosen a lot. It just doesn't really do much for me. Can you do a shortcut here? No. All right, Dolphin Shoals. I mean, Sunshine Airport has really cool theming. I'll give it that. And same goes with Dolphin Shoals, but that doesn't save the track. I'm still putting this in D tier. I think a lot of you are probably expecting F tier. I think this is one of the most unpopular tracks ever in any Mario Kart game. Could be wrong on that, but the people I talk to seem to dislike this track quite a bit. At least you can trick off the eel. The eel's the best part of the track. Also, this section here is, the reason I'm not giving it F is because this ending section is pretty fun. I don't dislike the ending. I think it's kind of the opposite of Sunshine Airport. I think this whole part, you can do like a little low tricks here, which is cool, but I do find this underwater part slow, boring, uneventful. The track really starts for me once you get on the eel. This is a really impressive track visually. I love the music. I love when you're going off the steps, going through the spiral before the glider ramp, how it makes the different sounds as you're going down. Bump, 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 bump. That whole thing is exhilarating. I don't like how the track splits into 2 paths for half the level. Not really a huge fan of that. Playing it, decent. Looking at it, top tier. So ends up putting, you know, B tier is what we're going with. If I've made it this far without upsetting you with my opinions, then I think that's about to change. We have Mount Wario. This is undisputably one of the most popular tracks in the game. I would not be surprised in the slightest if it gets brought back in Mario Kart 9, 10, whatever. And yeah, it's B tier for me. I'll just tell you guys, not gonna hold you hostage here, B tier. And I am just not very good at this track, I'll be honest. So that probably plays a part. I'm taking some interesting Funky Kong lines here. I do think the first half of the track is really good. I think it's A or S tier. And then I think the track turns into a dumpster fire once we get past this streamless shortcut right here. The first half is incredible. The second half I don't care for. And it seems to be a really common trend just looking through all the tracks. I like half of the level and I don't like the other half. So B tier, I know all of you guys are putting this in S tier. Cloud Top Cruise. We made it to the Special Cup. I'm switching to Dry Bones so we can actually have a chance at driving some of these tracks. Funky Kong plus Special Cup 200cc, no thank you. Cloud Top Cruise, we're giving it A tier. Beautiful track. Truly one of the best looking tracks in the game. The airship section, very narrow right here. Once you get propelled up to the stormy cloud section, this is where all my hopes and dreams go to die. So much always goes wrong for me here. I almost hit that, for example. It definitely feels like a front run track to me. I mean, I love the track. I wish there was another shortcut, if I'm being honest. Like, I love the ending shortcut, but I wish there was just something extra to this one. So for Bone Dry Dunes, this may surprise people, although if you know my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content, it probably won't. I'm putting Bone Dry Dunes in A tier. I actually really like this one. I think it's super difficult. It's great on 200cc. This part, you can't even control it. Like, what is even going on? But I think the difficulty of this track is what really sells it on me. This part right here is probably why most people don't care for the track. Like look at how you just, like this part is just pure chaos. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, it's so bumpy, and it also has like sticky road, and oh, apparently I'm out of bounds there. Yeah, this one's gotta be one of the hardest tracks in the game. Bowser's Castle goes in B tier. I think this level needs some thwomps. It's the only Bowser's Castle that doesn't have them. The Wrecking Ball and the Fire Pinwheel I can do without, especially the Wrecking Ball. It's like brutal. I can't believe that thing is an enemy in this game. It's actually more terrifying than the thwomps on all the other Bowser's Castles. I'm gonna tell you right now, a little bit of a spoiler for next level, but this is the worst track in the Special Cup for me. It doesn't really do much for me. It's not a bad track. Like, that's why it's going to B tier. All right, so mini rant here. People always say this is like the worst Rainbow Road ever, one of the worst, just completely lacking originality, has nothing going for it, boring. I've seen everybody talk about every possible negative critique of this track, and I really like this track. I think it's one of the best Rainbow Roads. I do agree with people that it's a little bit underwhelming from like a feature standpoint, like compared to Mario Kart Wii or Mario Kart 7, like this Rainbow Road is extremely simple. The way I feel about Bowser's Castle is how a lot of people feel about this track. A lot of people love Bowser's Castle, they think it's great, and then they think this track's extremely underwhelming. And I love this track, I think it's great, and I think Bowser's Castle is extremely underwhelming. Definitely not a bad track by any means of the imagination, but it's one of the worst Bowser's Castles to me, and then this is actually one of the best Rainbow Roads, or at least somewhere in the middle. Now, I know I said I wouldn't rank the tracks individually on like where they place out of the 48 here. However, I will tell you this is at the very bottom. This is bottom 3 for me, is easy F tier. I don't have anything positive to say. I don't like how bumpy it is. I don't like the elevation change between the main road and the dirt. I do like how you can trick off that. In Mario Kart Wii, that's a huge threat. Like if you even touch that right there, you lose all your speed. You literally go to 0 if you even touch the Trail of the Moles. So I like how it's like super easy in this game. That kind of fits the whole Shell Cup thing. Shout outs to the mooing fellas. The cows are the best thing about this track. They're the only redeeming factor. GBA Mario Circuit. This will probably surprise people. I did put this one at S tier. And that may seem crazy to people. It's such a simple circuit track. I just think this one's so much fun. I don't know how to put it any other way. I thought this was maybe the most uneventful, boring, unmemorable track Nintendo ever created. Kind of confused why they brought this track out, but then I played it and I was like, wow, it's actually so much fun. The giant anti-gravity U-turn is such an amazing feature. I can't even imagine the track without it. You can create amazing comebacks on this track, and you can have crazy bagging strategies going backwards at the beginning, getting an item, and then cheesing the victory. So yeah, this one's really fun. I completely understand if people don't like this track, but it's definitely my cup of tea. Cheap Cheap Beach. Don't really care for this one. I'm putting this one in C tier. This beginning section, extremely bumpy here on 200. Once again, beautiful track, but you can say that about every single track in the game just about. So that's like the best thing this track has going for it. The rest of it is just kind of whatever. I don't think it's a bad track. Like I don't think that this is a track that like, oh, this like shouldn't have been a retro or something like that. Like I think it fits for the Shell Cup. So nothing about it bothers me. It is what it is. That's all, folks. Toads Turnpike, F tier. Next. No, actually, I like this one more than most people. Still like a bottom 4 track in the game, but I put this at the top of F tier. I almost put this in D tier. Like I thought about it. I don't hate this track. I feel like I have some good races on it. I think it does create like a certain level of paranoia, like going around each corner, trying to figure out if we're gonna get ran over or not. Like you have to really be on it. You can't be dozing off playing this track. Even if you're in first and you have a giant breakaway, like it could all come crashing down if you're not careful. It's F tier, but it's not as bad as what most people say. I think most people say this is bottom 2, bottom 3 track. For me, it's the 4th worst. Oh, this one's phenomenal. This one, Dry Desert, it goes in A tier. It just has this epic feeling to it. I know it's kind of a meme track, but for me, it's epic. Like, I love the shortcuts. I love just how broken this track is, how you could do anything on it. I always feel really at peace driving the first lap or 2, and then lap 3 I have to devise some sort of strategy, and that always turns pretty crazy. You never really know what's gonna happen with the shock or what shortcuts you'll be able to implement, so on and so forth. It kind of reminds me of Mario Kart Wii in some regards, like some of the super heavy off-road shortcut tracks in Mario Kart Wii, a lot of the circuit tracks, like Mario Raceway or Mario Circuit, this one, or even Desert Hills, like this one has a similar feeling. I think this track's super underrated, but once again, I understand competitively, it's probably not the best. Another huge winner, Donut Plains 3. This one unquestionably goes into A tier. Love this track, cannot believe what they did with it. I think they just hit a home run here. Donut Plains 3, pretty unmemorable track, never cared about it whatsoever, and then it came out in this game and I was like, wow. Same feeling I had when I played GBA Mario Circuit. I was like, Nintendo really creative with the retros, and it made me thrilled for Booster Course Pass. We got so many amazing retro recreations there as well. So let me know in the comment section if you would like me to do this exact video, but for the Booster Course Pass. I was planning on it, although I'm not sure if my opinions are going to be too triggering for some people in the 8 Deluxe community. And if not, I'll gladly bring it your guys' way, because it is really fun to make these style videos. I think if you're using a lightweight combo like I am here, then the track is just so much more fun. But if you're using a character like Funky Kong, it's gonna be your least favorite. This may come as a surprise to a lot of you. I do think the Banana Cup is the best cup in the entire base game, and I'm not kidding. This is S tier, Royal Raceway. Incredible track. Like, Same thing I've been saying about the other retros. What they did with this one was phenomenal. They scaled it so much better than the N64 version, which has these super long straightaways and empty feeling sections. I wish you could go visit the castle. I understand why they don't let you do it. People get lost. Anyway, back to the actual layout. Once again, just like GBA Mario Circuit, extremely smooth with the edges here between the grass and the main road. Really cool shortcut, obviously. Easy S tier, one of the best tracks in the game. DK Jungle is one of the most simplistic names for a track, especially when we have DK Jungle Parkway. And then they make a track called DK Jungle, just DK Jungle, but what a phenomenal track this is. It is tough. You gotta brake drift these corners on 200. And we got the glider section here, which works wonderfully, absolutely magical. This part you gotta be really careful. Even if just one wheel goes off the edge there, your whole vehicle will be sent flying. I do wish you can create some sort of glider shortcut here at the end. I do think it's technically possible. I did see a video once of someone doing it, but I mean, I've never seen anyone do it in an online race. Go, 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 go. Aww, see, Lakitu always has to spoil the fun. But yeah, S tier track, love it. Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, doesn't matter the game, it's phenomenal. And now we have Wario Stadium. This one goes in A tier. I think the reason I like this one so much is just how skill-based it is. This is a track that will make you or break you very difficult, but extremely satisfying when things go your way. Lots of cool tech, like those ramps. The anti-gravity is pretty wild as well. It's one of those levels that is great to learn the advanced game mechanics on. You know, people are going to be practicing this level on time trials before a lot of the other ones once they're trying to get good at the game. It's a track that's chosen online a lot because people know if they master this track, then they will be able to get easy first places. So yeah, really good track. Even better in this game than Mario Kart DS, and it's already phenomenal in Mario Kart DS, so easy A tier. Really cool how they have Sherbet Land at nighttime on this game. I think that's a great touch. The ice skating Shy Guys are not nearly as much of a threat in this game as they feel in Double Dash, but I'm not complaining about that. This level actually doesn't feel claustrophobic like it does in Double Dash. It feels more drawn out and wider overall. This corner here you can definitely get screwed over on, gotta be careful. And I think it's really, really cool how they have an underwater section on the ending and the beginning of the level. Really cool track. I'm gonna put it in B tier, but it's at the bottom of B tier for me. Music Park, aka Melody Motorway. It's got the glitz, it's got the glam, it's got all the instruments, it's shiny, it's polished, it's cool. I'm gonna put it in D tier. I don't like this one. It feels so small and claustrophobic, and I already have issues with that in this game, and this track brings it to a whole different level. I think it's awkward to drive. I don't think it's very fun. I find myself in weird moments, weird physics moments all the time. It's a punishing track. I'm sure I would like it more if I was better at it, but it's always just been kind of a whatever track for me. Yoshi Valley was beyond excited to see this track return. I think this was the retro I was probably the most excited for when this game first got announced and all of the leaks were dropping for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. And I was super bummed when you couldn't do that shortcut. That was my favorite part of playing it on Mario Kart Wii as a custom track and then playing it on Mario Kart 64. That was my favorite part of the level, and they took it away, and it was so obvious to include. It's such a cool shortcut, very similar to the Mushroom Gorge gap jump, but ultimately it just ended up being a B tier track. You know, it ended up being a B tier track, and it could have been better. It could have been much better. It really could have. This could have been S tier, unquestionably. TikTok Clock. This one also goes in B tier. Now, visually, wow, what a step up. I remember when this track was coming out, I was like, oh, you're gonna be able to go off this ramp, and you're gonna be able to do a crazy gear shortcut, and then no, Lakitu said no. Lakitu said, I'm gonna ruin your life, and that's what he did. Yeah, I mean, it should have been an S tier track. Piranha Plant Slide. This is such an amazing track. We're putting it in A tier, and it's grown on me even more as time has gone on. Such a great track from Mario Kart 7, although Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it even feels crazier. I cannot believe how difficult they made this track. It takes a lot to get used to. Difficult, just like Wario Stadium, but even more difficult, I would say. It's one of the most difficult tracks from base game. Grumble Volcano. Oh, where do I get started on this one? Where do I get started? So for those of you who don't know, this is like a top 2 track in Mario Kart Wii for me. Top 3. I don't know if it's second best. It's definitely top 3. I love this track to death. It was just the most exciting thing ever when it got announced. I was probably more excited for this than Yoshi Valley, although it was close. Grumble Volcano is going in B tier, and for Mario Kart Wii, it's like a double S tier track. It's like the best thing ever. There's so many crazy shortcuts. The strategy for it is very interesting. You never know what's gonna happen on it. It's super broken, and I love every second of it. Not a bad track, so I'm putting it in B tier. Although I do wish that this thing went down a little earlier so I could take the shortcut sooner, and we just failed the shortcut and got second. Beautiful. Every time N64 Rainbow Road gets chosen, I let out a deep sigh. This is one of my least favorite tracks, although I freaking love what they did with it. I mean, you know, Trainbow Road is what people call it, right? Trainbow Road. Yeah, this track has got this magical feeling to it. But it's only one lap, and when you're playing 200cc, you especially feel how it's just over immediately. This should have been a 2-lap track. I don't know why they made it so different in this game. Yeah, this one's not for me. This one's definitely in D tier. One of my least favorites. Beautiful track, not very fun to play. We have officially made it to the DLC tracks. Yoshi Circuit, S tier. Just look at this. Beautiful waterfalls cascading down the rocks there off Yoshi's arm. Amazing waterfall shortcut. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When this track first came out, I did not care for it. Like the very first run through I did, because I was bummed that the tunnel shortcut was gone. Although the tunnel shortcut was also not in Mario Kart DS, so I wasn't entirely surprised. I was a little bummed. But then the more I played it, I decided this is the best version of Yoshi Circuit to ever exist. Out of all 3 versions, this is my favorite. I never expected that. It's scaled well, it's smooth, it's got cool shroomless shortcuts, it's got good positioning of the enemies. I like the tire shortcut as well. I completely understand if you think this track is F tier, because let's be honest, playing it online is pretty stupid. Like there's some dumb things that can happen to you, but I just love driving it so much, and I've had so many great front runs where I am able to beat the baggers, so I think that's why I have this track rated so high. Oh no, here it is. The moment you've all been waiting for. Excitebike Arena. I have turned over a new leaf. I used to dislike this track, but I'm gonna put it in S tier. No, I'm kidding. F tier. This track is my least favorite in the game, probably. You guys all knew that. You've watched my videos. I do not like this track. Maybe I'd like it a little bit better if I knew what I was doing, but it's just not for me. And I don't see that ever changing. I don't dislike the track. It's just when I fall behind on it and I'm on this section I'm spamming, I feel helpless. Like this is the track where I felt helpless the most on, I think, out of pretty much any track. There's just too many times where you can't catch up on it. And on Baby Park, I do feel like I'm able to make some stupid comebacks in a way that I can't really do on this one. This one feels more like a front runner to me. And yeah, it takes the spot as my least favorite track in the game. Dragon Driftway, oh, this one is so good. I mean, look at it. Just marvelous. Nintendo just nailed it with this one. I'm putting it in A tier. The only reason it's not S tier is because I don't like how many times I've been spin boosted off the edge when I play this one. It's happened way too many times, and a lot of the times just something stupid happens, especially on these steps right here. I get hit by something, and then I'm just upset because I can't do the ending shortcut. I just fall out of it. It's a front run track. When you get the shortcuts, you break ahead. It's kind of similar to Yoshi's Circuit. You're just carving it up, absolutely hauling, feeling on top of the world. And then other times you're playing this and you just want it to end because you got knocked off 3 times and the spin boosting ended up being your demise or something like that. Just too much has gone wrong for me, and the negative memories are keeping me from putting this at the top. Mute City, really cool track. It's like all boost panels. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're just kind of hitting boost panels the whole time, and then there's this crazy shortcut at the end. I do like it more on 200. I feel like the boost panel craze of it, that whole feeling you get when you're just zipping through it, it works better on 200. It still feels kind of slow and mundane when you're playing 150, but on 200, you're just beasting it. Also, another reason I like this track more on 200 is I can actually do the shortcut shroomless. Like, I'd probably like this one more if I was better at the shroomless shortcut, because then I would do better on this track, because that seems like what happens is the people who win this track are the ones who've like mastered that shroomless shortcut on 150cc. Wario's Gold Mine. I do not like this one nearly as much in this game compared to Mario Kart Wii. Got sketchy camera angles, like right there I didn't even think I was gonna fall off the edge, but you get really close to the edge, you pay the price on this one. You gotta be so careful. I don't really like this anti-gravity corner. This is underwhelming and not nearly as difficult as the section that's the counterpart in Mario Kart Wii. The mine carts, super easy to get past. You just spin boost around them. I don't really know how I feel about that. They're a lethal enemy in Mario Kart Wii, a defining feature of Wario's Gold Mine. I do think that ending ramp is a great addition. I actually like that quite a bit. But yeah, D tier for me just doesn't really do it. SNES Rainbow Road, another D tier for me. It's fun to collect the coins, gotta avoid the ramps here. You get the purple main turbos. I like it more than Gold Mine, but I'm still putting it in D tier. I think I've just played it too many times. It's in like every Mario Kart game too. Oh, that was crazy. You gotta be very careful with the edge on this track. You will pay the price. If you get anywhere near the edge with even one of the wheels, you're done. Ice Outpost, we're putting this in C tier. I used to think this was one of the worst tracks in the game, but it has grown on me over the years. I don't hate it nearly as much. Some really cool shortcuts on this level. If you learn them, you can get a massive advantage. Yeah, don't hate it like I used to, but I'm still putting it in C tier. It's still kind of a weird one, isn't it? Like, it's got these two roads, one's yellow, one's green, and they just kind of weave in and out of each other. This will come to no surprise for anyone. It's one of the best tracks ever in Mario Kart history. It's funny how it's a Zelda track. The one Zelda track they make is like top tier. Looks incredible, super smooth, satisfying to drive. Beautiful castle, looks way better than the Bowser's Castle castles, which is hilarious. Like, Bowser needs to take a page out of Zelda's book. This is top 10 in the game. This is maybe a top 5 track. I hope this comes back in the next Mario Kart game. This track can be back every Mario Kart game. I would not complain. Such a cool track. Here comes another unpopular opinion. Baby Park. Yeah, so this one is C tier. I don't hate this one. I really don't. I like this one way more than Excitebike. The track is just pure chaos, but I like it way more than Excitebike. Like, it's just a glorified oval at the end of the day, but I'd rather play Baby Park than Excitebike. So we're putting it in C tier, but I mean, it's Baby Park overall. So I enjoy it for the memes, not the dreams. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've been enjoying me meandering around these tracks and blabbing about. It's been a jolly good time. We're on Cheeseland now. This is like the most infamous track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I think it's Short Cat's doing. Whenever I think of this track, I think of Short Cat, I think of him bagging and cheesing victories, being a lap behind, and then getting a bullet bill in the shock. The rest is history. So yeah, I mean, I'm putting it in A tier because I really actually think this track is super cool. I think the strategy behind it is a little bit over the top. It's a little ridiculous, right? I mean, people bag for like over half a lap and then they still end up on top. That's a little bit much. Cheeseland, great for YouTube shorts, great for streams, creates the hype moments. Anything is possible on Cheeseland, A tier. Wild Woods. I'm trying to even remember what I had to say about this one. B tier. Let's break it down. There's a lot going on in this one. I like the ending quite a bit. I think the ending is better than the beginning. I don't really care for this section. Almost everyone goes to the right, and a lot of bad things have happened to me here. Once we hit like right here on the track, I'm a huge fan of it. I think this part's super cool. I got a Koopa Cave water stream section. You can even like ride the railing for the first part there, which is awesome. Just a nice little forest track. Doesn't really feel too unique, but they did a good job. Animal Crossing is, you know, another simple one like Wild Woods. I'm putting it in C tier. I think it's decent. I'm never like too excited when this one gets chosen, but I'm never upset. And I'm ranking every track based on my emotions when it gets chosen online. Like, that's pretty much how I'm ranking these tracks. Because it's kind of hard to rank these tracks. Like, so many of them are so close to me in ranking that I wouldn't be able to number them. And yeah, I mean, it's a great name for a track. Animal Crossing, just name it after the franchise, perfect. Neo Bowser City. I love this one. This one goes in A tier. Some of the best music of any Mario Kart track ever, in my opinion. Top 3, top 5 music track. Yeah, this track's chaos. I mean, not too much more to say. You gotta be ready for it. If you fall in the middle, you are gonna have a tough time getting to the front, but oh man, this one's exhilarating. You know, if you dodge the shock, you're gonna just power through to the front, and you gotta make sure you don't take the corners tight if people are in front of you, because it's just back spam central. People will take advantage of the way this track works, which is blind corners and slippery road. So I love this one. I love the music. I love seeing Dry Bones greeting me at the start of the level. This part right here is extremely tough, and I think it, you know, separates the experienced players from the noobs. So you gotta learn how to do that section. That's the key. Also, we just lost again. I think making this video has just made me reappreciate how amazing Nintendo made the retro tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is an easy S tier track. I'm not the best at this track or anything like that, but I just think it's so cool. The way they themed it, like being inside a child's bedroom, and this is like a little go-kart track they have. Got the green road, the blue road, the red road, all the different sections, different levels of difficulty here. I'd say the blue road is the most difficult part. And then now we're back to the red road. I got the castle theme. This one's awesome. Like, look at this. They made the track into a toy. Like, how cool is that? It looks so real. Like, it looks like you can go find that at Toys R Us. Seriously. Oh Lord, this track is a nightmare. When this thing shows up, I am stressed before the countdown even starts. Like, just the loading screen, I have to mentally prepare for this. This is even crazier than Moonview Highway and Mario Kart Wii for me personally. I don't know if people who play primarily 8 Deluxe feel that way. I feel like this track is insanity. I can't believe this is even real. Anyway, back to my ranking though. I'm putting it in C tier because I don't like the track at all, but I do appreciate the madness and the fact Nintendo just went for it with this one. Like, how is this even real? It's so narrow. The subways take up 75 to 80% of the track when they're both converging, and yeah, good luck. Really cool track in its own way. Not for me, but I completely understand that people like this one because it's really difficult, and it's probably very satisfying if you know how to play it well. What a way to end the video. This is one of the best tracks in the game. One of the most this is the most wild track. Like, I wish it was longer. That's my only complaint. This is S tier, Big Blue, no question. I like it a lot more than Mute City, and I couldn't believe this was real when I played it the first time. Like, Nintendo went in on the Mario Kart 8 DLC tracks. The only problem was they should have made more of them. Well, at least we got Booster Course Pass like a decade later. And yeah, I mean, this level obviously has all the crazy shortcuts. We'll go for them here. Big shortcut! Oh, so satisfying. The ending feels like it just comes to a conclusion way too fast. The beginning is the best. It's the most fun part of any level in the entire game. But once you do the giant shortcut and you get through that canyon, that's when the level gets a little bit worse. Definitely not bad by any means, but it seems to be a common thing with the one lap tracks. I noticed that often I really like the first half, and then the second half it feels like you're just trying to get to the finish line, whether it's Maka Woohoo, Mount Wario, or Big Blue. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you would like to see part 2, Booster Course Pass. I'm pretty casual with this game. I reached 30,000 VR on 150cc, so you know, I know like how all the stuff works and whatnot, but didn't play this game competitively pretty much at all. So let me know your opinions, because I would like to hear opinions, and then tell me how much experience you have with the game along with your opinions. It'd be super fun to hear what everyone has to say. Even if yours are wildly different than mine, I still would love to hear it, because it's always interesting to see and hear like why people like certain tracks and why they may not like the tracks that you like. All right, that is it. Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you hopefully for part 2 sometime sooner rather than later.